Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Flippin' the Script live. I'm so excited because this is my first live broadcast. And for a moment, I had a technical difficulty, but I've able to get it resolved. So I'm waiting for my guest to arrive. But until then, I wanted to tell you guys I am coming live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It is midnight here. And so I'm still really excited, though, to be able to talk to you this evening and have my first live broadcast. Super excited about that. So, Flipping the Script is a podcast for women of color by women of color and helping you to not only navigate your way through change, but to actually embrace it. And so, please listen to my podcast. You can hear it on all of the podcast platforms that are available for the most part. And please subscribe. Please share the podcast, spread the word. I would really appreciate that. And I actually have a contest this month for February. So if you subscribe to the podcast and you share it, please tag me when you share it on your social media, and I will enter you into a drawing for a journal. So I have a website, uniqueblackgifts.com, that has journals on it, and you will be one of 5 winners then for the journals for the month of February. So I don't know now what happened with my guest. She was here and now she's disappeared. But anyway, glad to see you all and thank you for watching. And also wanted to share with you then that I just started this podcast last month. And so I think I have 7 or 8 episodes. I would love to hear your feedback. So please, if you have any feedback, if there are any topics in particular that you would like for me to explore, please get in contact with me and let me know, because I am here for you. This podcast is for my audience. And so I welcome feedback. Let me know of what you think about the information that you've heard so far. And then also, if you have any suggestions for any future topics, that would be fabulous. So, let's see. Where did my guest go? Give me 1 second to check on her. At first, I was the one with the technical difficulty. Now I'm wondering if she is. And if she's in the right room. Speaking of rooms, I don't know if any of you guys are on Clubhouse, but that is something that I wanted to mention to you as well, is that Clubhouse has been really interesting. I've been a member of Clubhouse now for about a month and have really learned some interesting things there. So I actually have 7 invitations available for Clubhouse. So if you are interested in joining Clubhouse and you don't have an invitation, send me a message in our chat box tonight. And the first 7 people, then I will hook you up with Clubhouse. So send me a message here in the chat. You do have to have Apple, an Apple product. So you have to have an iPhone, an iPad, a MacBook, or something like that. The app is only used on Apple products. So Let's see here. I want to make sure that we get the guest going. Here. Oh, here she is.
Hi.
Were you using the wrong link? Hi.
You know what? I forgot to press enter. You know what time it is here?
Yeah, okay. So I was telling them that it's midnight for me. So it's 11 p.m. for Kenna. Kenna is
Yes.
in Johannesburg, South Africa. So okay, we'll excuse you for that. I'm like,
Sorry.
where did my guest go? She abandoned me.
I'm here. I'm here.
Good, good, good. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Flipping the Script.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
thank you for being here. I am gonna, for those who don't know you, Kenna, because I feel like you know everybody. And everybody, if you don't know everybody, everybody knows you. But for the few people that may not know you, let me go ahead and introduce you. So, whoops. Oh, okay. That got bright. All right. Kenna Williams. I have known Kenna since about 2013, I would say. Kenna, that's about the time that I joined the No Madness Travel Tribe. So Kenna and I met through the No Madness Travel Tribe, which is a Facebook group that is for avid travelers, basically, for people that are interested in travel. And a lot of us are avid travelers, Kenna being one of them. And Kenna is also the founder of Kenna L. Williams, LLC, which she founded in 2017 by force. For years, she conducted the infamous trademarked Dubai blackout trips as a hobby, but friends convinced her to turn her passion of showing people the world into something greater to inspire others to travel. Kenna is known in travel circles as the creator of the trademarked phrase, book that shit or book that ish. I don't know. Did you trademark both? And one of the survivors of the Panama 13 accident of 2015. She has been featured in Essence Magazine, Huffington Post, and various travel blogs and outlets. Kenna is an aerospace engineer by degree, but her real passion is to explore, as she is a descendant of the explorer Matthew Henson. Kenna hosts several group trips throughout the year, and she also provides travel consulting and planning, plus private hire. She previously lived in Southern California, but she now lives in Johannesburg, South Africa. So again, welcome, Kenna.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So, Kenna, when I thought about who I wanted to be my first live guest, really, it was a no-brainer for me that it would be you, because you, to me, epitomize what it means to not only embrace change, but to grab it by the horns. And when I think of resilience, I can think of no one who has experienced more change than you have over the past 5 years. And you truly have one of the best spirits that I know. So, absolutely, I think that you have a story to share with my listeners, because the purpose of this podcast is to help women to embrace change. And you have definitely done that.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
let's start from the beginning.
All right.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I spent my formative years there. I left Memphis when I was 18, went to college at St. Louis University, stayed there a long time, and left St. Louis and moved to California in 2001. Yeah, 2001.
2001. So, how did you decide to become an aerospace engineer?
As a kid, I thought that I thought being an engineer would make me rich. I thought I would be rich becoming an engineer. My father worked at a medical company, and most of the people that worked there, they were engineers. So he would bring his friends over to the house, and I would be like, wow, that's exciting. Okay, show me this. Wow, that's great. And I ended up going to an engineering high school. Um, I think my ninth through 12th grade year. And from there, I just decided this is what I wanted to do, and ended up getting an aerospace engineering degree at St. Louis University in St. Louis, Missouri. And I was supposed to continue on my education and do a master's, but 2 days before my first class was supposed to start, I decided I need to work. And I ended up getting a job and moving to California. So that's how that happened.
Ah, okay. So, what was it like being in an industry that is very male dominated, and I would expect white male dominated? So, how was that for you as a young Black woman?
My first position that I had, I was a flight test engineer. And I went into the office. This office at the time, they hadn't hired anybody in probably 10, 15 years at the time. So here I am, some fresh faced 20 something year old kid from Memphis, Tennessee, showing up in California and like, well, I'm here, I'm here. So it was interesting. I had a great experience there. People were very, maybe it's a California thing, people were very friendly with me in that first position. I did a lot of training, tried to do a lot of extra things outside of work just to, you know, make things work in that industry. So it was great until I moved on to different positions as I advanced through my career.
Okay. Well, I'm a California girl, so I'm going to go ahead and say it is that California friendly, huh?
It is. It is.
And I know that they grew to love you. And too, something that's kind of unusual is you spent your whole career there, right? Your whole engineering career.
Right. I stayed at the same company for almost 19 years, and I had, I think, three positions during that time. So I started as a flight test engineer, working for fighter jets at the time. I left that office, moved to a more of a program project management office, left that position, moved to another similar office. So basically, stayed at the same company, just switched careers throughout the time.
Wow. And I'm impressed by that because I have switched careers and companies so many times, I can't count. So I don't even understand that, but that's great. So now when did you start your your love of travel? When did you get the travel bug?
I would say I probably got the travel bug when I was a kid. Growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, my grandparents lived in Winona, Mississippi. I had relatives that lived in Carrollton, Mississippi on my dad's side. So summers where my parents packing us in the 1971 green Cadillac, taking us down down Highway 51 to visit our relatives. So I think that probably started a lot of it, prompted a lot of my travels. And then as I got older, I left high school, went to college in St. Louis, Missouri, left there, went to live in California. And from there, I just started traveling all over the place. And my grandmother probably is one of the biggest inspirations for me for traveling because I used to joke and say that my grandmother was obviously one of the oldest people in our family, but she was the one that actually visited me the most in California, more than my own parents. So,
Wow.
and she was coming from Mississippi. So,
So grandma liked to travel. That is
yes,
a
she
big thing
did.
because especially people that age, a lot of times they're afraid to fly and everything. So she was ready to go.
Yes, she was.
That must be part of that. Was so the Matthew Henson, is that from your grandmother's side or another
Yes,
side?
my grandmother was a Henson.
So
Yes, so that's
that's
definitely
where
on
she
that
got it
side.
from. See, I
Yes,
didn't even know that about you until you gave me that information.
yes, yes.
Interesting. So, um, so when was your first international trip then?
Ooh, my first international trip. Wow. Hmm. I want to say it was 2007, maybe, believe it or not. I actually had a passport
Really?
much, I know, shocking, right?
Yes.
Like shocking, right? But I had a passport back in 2000, 2001, but for the wrong reasons. But anyway, that's another story in itself.
Okay. It's okay. We'll bring you back for that one.
I mean, I could talk about it,
No,
but
no, no, go ahead.
I think it was 2006, 2007. At my job, I had to go overseas, so I actually went to the Marshall Islands for a work assignment,
Ah, I do
and
remember you saying that.
yeah, I spent. I think my first trip there was supposed to be 2 weeks. I ended up spending 6 weeks there, and it was a phenomenal experience. It is the moment of, probably of the awakening of international travel. I was there and I was meeting the local people, and I went back home. I wrote like a 5-page letter to my sorority sisters, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I saw this. These people are just like, and they're like, 'Are you okay?' I was like, 'You don't understand. I've never seen anything outside of living in America. And here
Wow.
you go somewhere and people are very welcoming, very accommodating,
Yes.
very I don't know. I found that the people that have the least have the most to offer you.
Right.
So that was interesting to see people receive me that well. And I remember Saturday nights was ladies' night at this little club they had there, and they would they would come and get me. I didn't speak the language, and I was just like, "Okay, I'm here. Let's do this." So yeah, it was a great experience. Yeah, that's
Okay.
about 2006, 2007, I would say.
Okay. So I was actually on your first Dubai blackout trip, which that was before it was known as Dubai blackout. We were
Yes,
just going to
2014.
Dubai. 2014. That
Yes,
was,
yes.
I moved to Qatar in August of 2014, and we went in October.
Yes.
It was October. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
So, and there were only about 30 of us at that time.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And it has turned into one of my favorite weekends, like
Yes. Yes.
every year. And so, how big has that blackout gotten now? The biggest?
The biggest one I've had has been 500 people, and that was 2017. We had 500 people on that trip. It was
That is
insane, insane,
crazy.
insane, insane.
2017. So, between 30 people in 2014 to 500 people in 2017, all coordinated by Kina.
Yes.
And this is just by word of mouth. People had
Yeah.
such a good time that the next year people were like, I'm going.
Yes,
And
definitely.
it is. I
Yeah.
mean, you really set it out. So it's like we have brunch at this restaurant, Saffron, and
Mhm.
it is fabulous.
It
And it's not
is.
even, the food is good, great top shelf drinks, but it really is
Mhm.
the atmosphere
It
that makes
is.
it.
It is. It is. It is.
And we
It is.
go over Halloween weekend.
Mhm.
So people have costumes, and so we
Costumes.
really get into that. So that's a lot of fun. Then there's a beach party,
Yes. Then the yacht cruise. It's just a great
the
time.
lot yacht cruise. Yeah. So she really sets it out. So if anybody is interested in that, you need to get in contact with Kina when everything opens back up. It's back on.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. And if we have any time, at the end, we'll answer some questions too, if anybody has any questions about anything.
Awesome.
But Kina, I also know like these past 5 years have been especially challenging for you.
Mhm.
So, as I mentioned in the introduction, you were one of the Panama 13. For those that are not familiar with that incident, then what happened?
Yeah, and back in 2015, well, 2014, January, a group of friends, we were going to Panama, and then we decided to do it again the next January for MLK weekend. And in 2015, January 16th, 2015, we did same trip we did the year previously. And unfortunately, on part of that trip, we were going down the hill and our vehicle lost control and we actually went over a cliff. And Two of our friends passed away, and everybody else in the vehicle was severely injured, including myself.
Yes, yeah. And I remember that day, just like it was yesterday. So I know how
Hmm.
vivid it is for you. And
Yes,
at the time my mother was visiting me and she remembers it too, because I mean, it threw us all for a loop, most
yes.
definitely. So how did you manage to overcome that experience?
Um, that's a really good question. I don't know if you ever, I don't know, I don't know if you ever overcome a tragedy like that in your life. What you do is learn to live through these experiences and don't try to block out things. What I did was every year in January, I would actually go back to Panama. So I have been back to Panama practically every January since that accident happened. And even throughout the year, I would go. And in January, I would always go to the hospital where I was, spent about a week there. They wouldn't let me in, but I would stand outside, give my little whatever, and just be like, okay. You look at it and say, okay, I survived this, and be thankful for your life, and also send out blessings to those that passed on or those that are still suffering from injuries, whether they are mental or physical. During the time when I had the accident, my father, oh, my dad used to get on my nerves about this because I come from a very religious family, but I'm not really that religious myself, although that's how I was raised. And my father would basically be like, "You need to tell everybody what happened to you. You need to tell everybody." And I would be like, "Oh man, if you don't, going on somewhere," because I had to tell him
Mhm.
one day, I had to tell him, I said, "Look, you don't understand. If this is what happened to you, this is what you would do." I said, "But you have to realize this is my story. So let
Right.
me tell it when I'm ready." And I think, after he heard that, he understood, he kind of backed off because we would go places. "This is my daughter. She went through this." And I would be like, you're
Uh,
forcing me to relive it every day.
right,
But
right.
during that time, I went on with the rest of my life. I was off work for about 4 months, recuperating in Memphis. I spent about a week in the hospital in Panama. In the States, I flew back to the States, and I had surgery in the States. I think I did 2 weeks in the hospital there. Then I went to a nursing home for about a week for, to recuperate. Then I went home.
Mhm.
And in my mind, I thought it was fine, but the reality is, after seeing something like that or going through that, you're really not fine. And one of the things that happened was I have two best friends, one male, one female. My male best friend, I don't know if he's watching right now, Chris. Hey, Chris. He called me
He
one day.
is.
He said, "You are not who I know you to be." He's like, "You need help." I was like, "No, I don't. There's nothing wrong with me." So he kept saying, "You need help." And I was like, "No, I don't." I thought I'll push the key. I don't need nothing,
Mhm,
whatever.
mhm.
So what happened was he says, "I think you need to go see a counselor." And I was like, "Shh, whatever." So I said, "Fine, I'll go and I'll see one just to satisfy you." And I actually went, and it was a good experience to the point where I look forward to talking to the counselor about what was going on and things like that. And this is a point I want to bring out. I like to consider myself the strong friend, but strong friends need more help than people really realize, although we don't
Mhm,
like to admit it. So
mhm.
I like to credit my friend for basically saying, this somebody has known me for 20 plus years, and I guess he could see that my actions were not what he was used to seeing. Although I felt fine. I thought it was fine, but sometimes we don't see who we really are. It takes someone that knows us for so long to
Yes.
say, "Hey, you're not who I know you to be." So yeah,
Right, right.
yeah.
And good that followed up, because you could have just remained in denial and not
Mhm.
sought the help. So it's good that you did do that. Very good. So,
Definitely.
then, and then since then, though, then you've had some other tragedies then that have occurred
Mhm.
in your life. So you lost your mom, your dad, your
Mhm.
brother, and your best
Mhm.
friend,
Mhm.
within a
Mhm.
3-year window.
Pretty much, right? Yeah, 2000. Actually, last week has been the 5th year anniversary of my brother passing. Next month will be the
Wow.
5th year passing of my dad because they passed within a year of each other. And then 2018, April 7th, my mom passed away. My best friend called me to wish me, are you okay? Whatever. Then he died 2 days later. So it was just like a lot, a lot, a
Unbelievable.
lot. Yes.
Unbelievable. And that's why I say resilience, you are the person that comes to mind
Yeah.
for me.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. And so through all of that, then is that what made you decide to switch gears, flip the switch, flip the script,
Yes.
and
Yes.
leave your career and more follow your passion and move abroad? Was that the
Um,
catalyst or no?
I would say a lot of that a lot of that is that because I look at it and say my family I have obviously I have a younger brother, I have nieces and nephews, I have a sister-in-law, I have a half sister and other cousins and relatives. However, my immediate family at this point I feel like they've passed on, so it's just my younger brother and I. So, November 2015, this was like, the year my accident happened. I had told my dad that, I need 2 months off work just to, see what was going on. I had applied for a management position at work and was told, you're not qualified, you have this many years of experience, but it's not enough. I'm just like,
How
hey,
many does it take?
uh,
Right.
listen. Mm.
Right. We
I
know.
don't know. I don't
We know
know.
the deal.
But apparently I didn't have enough. Which is fine. So I told my father, I wanted to take this time off work and they were super supportive of this time. And so just so oddly that, my brother passed away, and then my dad passed away. And after that happened, the time that I had already set aside, I ended up using that time to go through what I call a grieving process or what have you. And I just knew at the time, I was like, I'm probably not going to be at this job for a very long time. I'm probably going to get out. Then in 2018, after my mother passed away, I went back to work about I think like 2 weeks later, and I had my performance evaluation. And during my performance evaluation, I had asked for, again, another 2 months off because my mother passed away, my bestie passed away, and my best friend, Sean Marquez, we actually sat right next to each other at work. So we were always together on weekends. Sometimes he would be like, hey, you want to go get some sushi? I'm like, okay, come pick me up, or I'll come pick you up, or whatever.
Mhm.
So, I was like, I need time. I need time away for this. So
Yeah.
during my performance evaluation, my boss said I was doing everything well, that I was on track to meet my performance goals for the year. But she made a comment, which I was like, what did you say? But she said, if you can take 2 months off work without pay, because I didn't want to, I just wanted to keep my vacation time. She said, if you can take 2 months off work without being paid, um, you should know that you can be replaced. And then she said, you could be replaced. And I'm like, what did you say? My mother just died, bestie just
Right.
died, and this is what you tell me. I said, okay, fine. Then she said, um, I think that you should pursue your real passions in life. And if you decide to leave this job, we will understand. And I was like, what? And for me, I was pissed off because I felt like, what I just went through. Why are you saying this to me at like the one of the lowest points of life? Like, why are you saying this? And I was angry at the time. I had I had applied for another job at another office. So I was like, please let me get this other job. Because at that point, I was like, I no longer wanted to work in an environment. I felt like I was now in a hostile environment. I didn't want to be there. So I
Mhm.
left, and it took me a while to realize what she said was hurtful at the time, but it was what I needed to hear so I could be able to make the flipping the script that I actually did, which was to get up and leave something that had been so comfortable for so many years, so I could actually live
Right.
my life. So
Yeah.
I was
She did you a
angry.
favor.
Hey, she did me a
Yeah.
favor, but I didn't
Yeah.
realize it at the time that she did
Of
me a
course.
favor. I haven't talked to her. since that day. And yeah, I've talked to her since that day. And I thought, maybe one day I will call her and tell her that,
Thank
you
you.
know, yeah, thank you for being nasty to me at the
Yeah.
lowest time, because it actually helped me to say, okay, this is what was said to me, but this is what I need to do. I needed to pursue my real passions, even if they did not look like what people wanted me to do.
Yes.
I needed to do Kina, finally.
Yes. I hear you,
So,
girl.
yes,
Because,
listen.
same thing for me, I got laid off. And you know
Mhm,
what the funny thing is? People are vacation haters. I think that's what it is.
mm.
Because I had taken some time off for vacation. And I think I took 3 weeks off.
Mhm.
And then as soon as I came back from that trip, I requested some more vacation. So kind of what you were doing, except mine was paid vacation. And
Mhm,
then before I could take that trip, before I could take the second trip, then I got laid
mhm,
off.
mhm,
I was like, they are haters, and this is vacation time that I earned.
mhm,
So again, like you at the time, I was angry about getting laid off
mhm,
and everything. Of course, there's never any perfect time for something like
mhm.
that when somebody else is, making the decision for you. But
Right.
same thing, like you said, now if I could thank anybody who had, took a part in that decision for me
Mhm,
to leave the company, because that was the time then I was able to reflect, like you said, do
mhm,
me. What is it
mhm,
that I want to do? And then, unfortunately, it takes death sometimes, which I
mhm,
talked about this in my, my intro to the podcast, is that a guy that I went to law school with died suddenly. And
mm.
between that and me not working, got me really thinking, what's important to me in life? What is it that I want to do? And that's what made me, change my trajectory and decide that I wanted to live abroad. So,
Mhm.
we are sometimes forced into those decisions, but then they end up working out for the best.
Definitely,
Definitely.
definitely.
Yeah. So now, what made you choose South Africa?
Why are we going there? Listen, you know
Well,
what? South Africa was
okay.
not, listen. I have a story. I'll make it short. South Africa was not my first choice. I think it was back in 2018. I was going around saying Malaysia or bust, Malaysia or bust. I decided that I was moving to Malaysia. I had looked into the visa process, the My Malaysian Home process. I looked at that, looked into maybe starting a business in Malaysia. They have these different visas that you can get that will allow you to live somewhere for a while just to check it out. So I was like, Malaysia. And I was like, this is great. 2018 rolls around. I had a group trip to South Africa. I was on, the little dating apps, swiping a little bit, and
A little
swiped
bit.
across a little bit. I swiped on this little shorty, this little shouty, and
Mhm.
and we ended up meeting in South Africa in 2018. We hit it off very well. I liked him a lot. He liked me a lot. Everything was good. And at this point, I'm in my 40s. Most people might, we're not playing around. Either you know you want it or you don't. What we doing? I don't have time to play. What's up? People, oh, it takes this many years. No, it don't. It only takes a day. That's it, really. So, okay, maybe a little longer than a day. But anyway, we ended up dating for a brief period, got engaged. And when we got engaged, we were going through the motion of do I move to South Africa, or does he move to the States? So we originally planned for him to move to the States, and um, that was looking like a good possibility for us. But I don't know if it's a male thing, but I think he felt like he was going to have to start all over again here in the States, or in the States, and he didn't want to take that opportunity because here in South Africa, he was doing well, working as an IT consultant for a big financial institution here. And he was like, am I going to have to start over in the States? No, I don't want to do that. So I was like, okay, well, I'll come to South Africa. So I decided to come here. And before that happened, we split. We split up in March 2019. April 2019, I actually filed for my visa, my long term temporary residency visa in South Africa. got it a month later, and I moved. Although some of my friends and relatives thought that I was moving for him, I was like, no, I don't move for men I'm not married to. So I just decided because I already have friends here. I know the area fairly well to get around, and this is a good close hub to Dubai. It's only a 7 hour flight. I could get to Seychelles in 4 hours. Um, give me an opportunity to be here. So I just decided I'm going to move to South Africa, and that's what I did. That's what I did.
Okay. I like South Africa, although I'm a beach girl, so I'd have to
Mhm.
be in Cape Town.
Cape Town or Durban.
Or Durban. I never
Yeah.
made it. I didn't make it to Durban, so I can't. I need to still visit Durban.
Okay.
Well, when it opens up, I'm still planning on coming to visit you.
Come through. Come
You guys
through.
had to get you guys had to get rid of that little strain you got going on there now.
We're working on it. We got the Johnson and
Nobody
Johnson
is trying to
now. We're
fool with
working
that
on it.
the South African strain, of all of the
Listen,
strains.
we're working on
We're
it.
not fooling with y'all.
We're working on it.
Okay, you do that. So now, kind of, this is a good segue then into my next topic because I am often asked about dating abroad. So
Mhm.
again, when I think about dating abroad, you come to mind because you are really good with chronicling your adventures.
Mhm.
So, what advice, or first of all, what would you say is different about dating abroad than maybe your experiences in the US, if any?
I'll say this as a oh, people will get mad. I don't care. Just get mad. As a black woman, I feel like my experiences are better overseas than they are in the States. I don't know if maybe the men that I was coming across in the States, maybe they didn't like me. Maybe I didn't look the way they wanted someone to look. Maybe I've been told that I'm intimidating. I don't think so. I'd like to think I'm sweet and pleasant, but maybe I'm intimidating to some. I don't know. If I'm intimidating to a man, then should probably not be dealing with each other anyway, because I don't need you to be
Right,
intimidated by me. So
right.
I feel like my experiences here have been pretty good. I've been chronicling dating for the past almost 3 years now. My mom, and I joke about this, is coming up on 3 years. I was so mad at her about this. Her deathbed wish for me was to get married. And I was like, how dare you do this to me? How dare you say this to me? You know? So I actually I've been married before. I was married, got divorced what 11 years ago. So I've had that marriage experience. I would like it again. However, my mom was like, I want you to marry somebody that's going to take care of you and treat you like such and such and such, like your father did me. And I was like, okay, whatever,
Right. Okay.
like whatever. So,
Sure.
yeah, I'm like, okay, that's what you want, but
Right.
we'll see what happens here. But dating has been great here. I have met a lot of wonderful men here. I have met a lot of terrible men here. I have met a lot of, oh my gosh, fine men here, all over the place. So it's been it's been all types of guys here. As far as advice, one thing I was telling a guy today that as an American woman dating here, sometimes you meet men that are only interested in you because they feel like they can get something from you, and that something it's not necessarily sex. It is generally something like money, or they feel
Yeah.
like they can get an opportunity to steal your heart, so you will put them in America, or something like that. So if you know what game is, or men running game, ladies run game too. So you just got to know what it is, and when you see it, just be like, okay, separate from it. I've like I said, I've met all types. I've dated doctors here, IT consultants here, engineers. Um, Sometimes my Uber drivers will ask me out, just all types, all types. So what
Oh,
I've
I've been
decided,
proposed to by many a Uber driver.
listen, listen. I'll
I'm
say,
like,
yes.
what do you know about me? Oh, I could just tell you're a good person.
Oh, yes, they're
So
pretty funny.
it's hilarious. what would be one of the craziest dating stories abroad you might have?
Oh, I'm not trying to go in jail on this one.
You share yours, I'll share mine.
Oh, the craziest. I'm just going to talk about it. I'm not going to say where this happened, but
Okay.
there was a guy. We hadn't been dating each other long, just like going out, still trying to know each other. And he took me somewhere. And this is another thing too. And when you are dating overseas, you need to make sure whoever you're dealing with, make sure they're legitimate. And
Well,
listen, make
that's
sure they're
true in the
legit.
States.
Woo! Yes, make sure they're legitimate.
That's
I'm
true
not gonna
anywhere.
listen because, but I feel like here or overseas, I feel it's like it's harder to tell because you don't know, and there may be new schemes you don't know about, and so you will learn. So the
All right.
craziest thing I've ever seen in dating was there was a guy that wow. Almost like, do I want to tell this story? Um, Apparently he was into some what I call funny business. And when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, no, I need to get out of this." I'm like, I can't
Oh,
do this. So, yeah,
mm-mm-mm-mm.
no, this was one dealing with. You see this liquid? I put this liquid and I put it in a bag and it becomes this. I was like, nope,
What?
done.
No.
It was counterfeiting. I was like, oh no, no,
No, no, no, no, no.
no. I was like, no, I don't.
Pull
No.
over.
Like I said, I was like,
Let
that's
me
the
out.
craziest thing I saw. This is a situation where they take like money, and they put this liquid in it, and they break it apart, and you can't even tell. And I was like, no, I don't need to be
Oh,
locked up
yeah. You
abroad.
got exposed
I
to
don't do
far
this. I
more.
said,
No, no, no,
no,
no.
mm-mm,
Okay, no,
mm-mm.
I don't have any kind of, you know what? I actually haven't had any bad experiences. So the only one I would say is kind of crazy is that I'll tell you where I was. I was in Portugal
Mhm,
and I was in Porto, Portugal,
mhm.
and
Yes.
have met this man, like you said, on a dating app. And he was
Mhm,
actually really, really nice.
mm,
Really, really nice guy. So, we decided we were going to, he was going to show me around Porto or something like that. Okay. So he comes to pick me up and I get in the car and I'm like, what is that smell? What is that smell? And girl, every time he opened his mouth, it was like it would slap me in my nose. And so first, I have the window down and my head is basically hanging out the window. And let me tell you, to the point where I was getting a headache, literally.
Oh no.
It was the worst smell that I had ever smelled in my life. Like I can't believe it was coming out of somebody's mouth. And so I ended up we were in the car for
Oh
I'm
my
serious. We were in the car for about 5 minutes. And I was like, I'm not feeling well. Can you take me back to my
gosh.
room? And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, really. I just really have this splitting headache. And I didn't tell him why, but I was like, I have a really bad headache. So he turned around and he dropped me back off. And, he was upset, of course. And
Yes.
so, but I thought I would be doing him a disservice if I didn't tell him why. Because, like I said, he was a very, very nice man.
Mhm.
And so I emailed him, you can't tell him
Yes.
in person. And of course, this
Listen,
is,
no.
but I told him, I think you're very nice, but this was the reason why I had to get lick it. Nicole is laughing. I was like, this is why I had to,
Yes.
home is because your breath, and you might want to get it checked out because I think you're very nice and that,
Mhm,
you should meet a nice woman. And he got so offended.
mhm.
And he told me I was evil. Girl, you're like, don't you ever talk to me again or somebody's ever told me that. And I'm like, really? Like none of your friends have ever said anything? Today is not the first day that your breath smells like that. But I was like, you know what? If I have to be the fall person, then that's okay. And hopefully he
Yes,
realized it beyond that day that, okay, maybe I do have some sort of a problem.
yes.
But but I was like, I'm sorry, I have to go. There is, and because he'd have been trying to get in my face, and girl, I would have just
Mm.
died. Like, seriously. No, I'm serious. Like, I probably in the car
Yeah.
heaving, like, please take me home because I'm about to be sick. My craziest story, because like I said, I really don't have like bad experiences. You might not
Yeah.
click, but that was like,
Yes.
what? So,
Yeah.
Kina, what advice can you give to somebody then that is maybe looking for change or being forced into it, such as we have? What would you advise for them moving forward?
Don't fight it. Don't fight the change. When it happens, come up with a strategy. Come up with some positive things that will make this transition happen. At this point, you know it's going to happen, so you can't fight it. I mean, you can fight it for a few days, few months, or whatever, but don't let it linger. Come up with a plan immediately, and just go with it. Work with it and just go. Just go.
Yeah. What about advice for moving abroad? What do you think about that?
Whew, how much time we got?
Well, first of all, would you recommend it? Yes or no? Do you think that you will be an eternal expat, or you think you'll go back to the States, or kind of what's your plan? What do you think?
First of all, I would definitely recommend being an expat, even if you just try it for a few months or maybe a year or so.
Yeah.
Just try it. You never know, how it can change your life. And I don't know. I think you find out who your real friends are, who your family really is while you're gone, because that's what. Not that for me, it's been the same. I still have the same people calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, Tyra. And the rest of the people who obviously don't respect my timing because they don't know what time it is. But I would definitely recommend it. As far as advice about how to do it or anything, ew, there's so many different things. I just tell people the number one thing is make sure you figure out how your money is going to happen, whether you already have it or you're going because you're about to take a job or something like that. I read a lot of stories in expat groups. I left and I moved here for $100, and I'm thinking, I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. Because
Yeah.
I think people don't think about, the emergencies. Like, I just had COVID and spent, 18 days in the hospital here in a South African hospital. So that was
Mhm.
a crazy experience. And, I see people, I left with this and I don't have money for insurance. And I'm thinking, I had to pay my entire hospital bill in advance. Well, I had to pay that bill to just get reimbursed back. And it
Yeah.
wasn't a lot, but it was a lot. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, do people with this $100 budget, are you thinking about the worst? I mean, not to be negative, but these are the things that, in America, let me just go there. We have support systems, whether there's, unemployment, there's pandemic stuff or whatever. You move to another country, you have nothing. You have nothing. You have whatever's in your wallet, whatever's in your accounts or whatever. So, I would just tell people just make sure your money's not funny.
Yeah. That's great advice. Absolutely. So, what's next for Kina L. Williams?
I don't know what's next for me. I've got some group trips I need to conduct this year. Hopefully, everything will go well. If not, based off of the pandemic, we will slide things out if I need to. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I actually incorporated a business here in December, but I got sick in December, so I haven't had any time to work on that. And I don't know where my next move is. I don't know how long I'll be here in South Africa. My goal was to actually spend a year here, and then I was going to go to maybe Porto to find that same guy that you found.
Maybe he's got his breath taken care of.
I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know what my next step is. I'm constantly reading things. I'm currently taking Zulu classes here. I'm not doing very well, but I'm showing up. I'm
All
showing
right.
up.
Hey,
So that's a
that's
start.
half of the battle,
Showing up here.
right?
um, you know, Getting to know someone here and just living. Living life. I know last year was a lot of people said they were grinding out their time while they weren't working, and I was thinking, not me. I'm living. I'm living. I'm resting. I got involved in volunteer activities here, so I got a chance to really do things that matter. You know, I got a chance to not tutor, but mentor a young lady
Mm.
here,
Oh,
um,
good.
and do things like that. So not necessarily that the things that need to make money or anything like that. I'm not one of those hustle, 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 grind. That's not my lifestyle. I'm a
Right.
Sagittarius. We're kind of already all over the place. But I just want to, last year was basically a year of reflection and just doing things that mattered to me, which was helping other people and getting involved with my sorority work here and doing things of that nature. So that's kind
Okay.
of what I'm doing. So my next move, I don't know. I was telling someone earlier today. I think I want to not necessarily go back to school, but maybe learn a new trade. Not that I want to work, but just to learn something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
So
keep the
you're putting
mind
roots in South Africa then, or
going. We'll see. We'll see how it go.
to be determined? Stay
We'll see.
tuned. All right. We'll leave everybody on a cliffhanger then on what Kina does next. Girl, it's a cliffhanger for all of us. I'm a cliffhanger too. That's all right. That's the good thing about life. Matter of fact, the goal in life should be just have cliffhangers, right?
Yes, yes.
Keeps
Keep
it
them
exciting.
wondering. Yes, what's
That's
next?
right.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
like,
We'll
I don't
see.
know. Don't do that in relationships, though. Don't do that. I don't recommend that. Mm-mm.
Probably not. Probably not. Okay, Kina, you know what? I want to thank you for being a guest. Yes to cliffhangers, Vanessa says. I don't see where there's any questions here. So we'll go ahead and close out. And again, thank you so much for sharing with us your story and, giving some positive advice to people that might be looking for change. And so, we're their cheerleaders, right?
Yes, definitely,
Just do
definitely.
it. My
Yes.
mantra, why not?
Mhm. 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 Like, don't sit and wonder what's going to happen. Just go ahead and do it. Get that little push. And like I said, when your life is changing, I mean, you're gonna just sit there and watch it crumble. Or you're gonna pick up the pieces and I don't know, do something with it. Make a cake, whatever. Do something to get yourself motivated and going and ready to move in a new direction. Yes, it's scary. I tell people I left a job I worked almost 20 years and I just walked away. Just walked
Right.
away. So
And
take
no
the
regret.
the leap. Mm-mm,
Not
mm-mm,
one regret.
mm-mm,
That's what
mm-mm.
it's about, at the end of the day, at the end of life, no regrets.
None, none. No
Right?
regrets. What's that commercial? No regrets.
Regret. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
And you
you.
guys, remember, please listen to my podcast and spread the word. Tag me if you share for a chance to win a journal from uniqueblackgifts.com. And I have new episodes every Monday. You'll be able to listen to this podcast with Kina and I then on the podcast as of tomorrow. It should be up and ready for you. So thanks for watching and listening.
Thank you so much.
Bye.